So, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sard, and you're watching the Arsenal transfer show on the Football Corner. And I'm here for my first official live stream of the 2023-2024 season. And I cannot wait to start them off. Let's get them going. Firstly, I'm going to start off by bringing my good friend, Mr. Jashmon, up to the stream. Let's get him in.
Yo,
Yes, Jashmon. How you doing, my friend, man?
I'm doing good, man. How about you, bro?
Good. Yeah, all good, man. All good. So I think we should start off with the breaking news that came out recently. I think about 25 minutes ago, which is Mbappe is officially being sold from PSG. So, do you want to start us off there? It's
Listen, bro.
crazy news, man.
The second they got knocked out by Bayern Munich, you knew he wasn't going to stay past the season. The second they lost that final whistle went, you knew he was out this summer, bro. And to where, listen, I keep my hopes up. We need an Henri regen, and that's him, you know. But you know, honestly, it's as much as I want to say it's shocking, it's not really shocking. He
Yeah,
Why would he stay at PSG? PSG are as as wealthy as a club as they are, they're poorly ran,
yeah,
which is shocking because they have Qatari owners. So you would assume that they would be run correctly, but they just put together basically, in like in American terms, bro. They they put together an all-star team every season and it doesn't do anything.
yeah,
So it's not shocking, but at the same time, it's like, well, where's he gonna go now? Madrid aren't gonna buy him this summer, so where's he gonna go? Bayern
yeah.
Munich can't stump up the funds. United can't stump up the funds. City don't need him. So Juve, no Italian team can afford him. So it's like, where is he gonna go?
You see, that's the only thing as well, because when it comes to Mbappe, there's only a few teams that can really purchase him. There's only a few teams that really have the funds to purchase him. Obviously, we know one of those teams is Real Madrid. So we know that Real Madrid can go in there with, um, obviously, they can start selling players if they need to. They've got plenty of players there to sell.
Yeah.
But obviously, listen, the Real Madrid and Mbappe saga has been there for almost 2 years now. So I do believe that he will go to Real Madrid just because of like the links and how long they've been there. Obviously, he's been linked to the club for like what 2 years now. So yeah, I feel like he's gonna go there. That's my personal look on it. But listen, if he could come to Arsenal, listen, if we could do a Thierry Henry thing again, man, like bro, I'm telling you, that's crazy. But that's only if we can somehow stump up the money. Because let's face it, this guy's on God knows a week, man. I think it's almost a mil a week or something like that. So, and on top of that as well, you got the loyalty bonuses as well. Not loyalty bonuses. Well, yeah, loyalty bonuses, but also the signing on bonus as well. Well, I can't hear. I can't hear you, bro.
Can you hear me
Yeah,
now? Hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
was covering that. I said, what's the highest wage we paid a player per week? Wasn't it like maybe four? Was it 400? Maybe 450? That's it.
No, it was 350. It
It
was
was
a
350. Was it
Mezit.
Ozo?
Mezit, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Mezit's the highest wage that we've ever paid a player.
So we'd be looking, if we were to even think about bringing him in, we'd be looking at least minimum 450, 500, just maybe. And that's if he's. I mean, if he leaves when he leaves PSG, he's gonna have to take a wage cut. Nobody's gonna pay you that anywhere else. Bayern Munich aren't paying you that. Madrid aren't paying you that. Barcelona might pay you that if they can afford it. If they can afford it, they just might because they're stupid. They just might.
Barca are on some.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're in the conversation, bro.
Yeah, they're not
They
in.
can't even. They can't even get normal signings in.
Don't
Like,
they still? Don't they still owe people owe teams for like transfers, bro?
yeah, they still own Liverpool. They're still fighting with Liverpool for
Well,
and
that
still
Coutinho thing.
they're still paying them off for Coutinho. So that's one
Yeah.
of them that they owe. But listen, there's so they owe so much money, and it's not even it's just mad how much they owe and how in what situation they're in. But I
Yeah,
think they're off the books. Um, Real Madrid possibly, they possibly may be able to, um, possibly may be able to pay that. But um, yeah, when it comes to his wages, for me, it's more the signing on bonus and the loyalty bonus. That's
yeah,
the one that gets me. Like, okay, if we did have to pay him like 1 million a year, like okay, fine, but the loyalty bonus and the signing on bonus, and they're like 250 or like 150 and 150 mil here, and it's just
yeah,
like, bro, why? Why is there so much? Like, what is going on here, man?
yeah, bro.
You know?
Yeah, I don't get it either, bro. Like he's a obviously he's literally one of the best players on this planet, bro. Right?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah,
But bro, you're not getting that money. No, nobody's gonna pay you that. Nobody is except PSG. Like, and you're not gonna stay there. So, and I think realistically, Madrid they would have to get rid of multiple of those midfielders they got. They would have to. They got to get rid of multiple, two of them at
yeah,
least.
mm,
So, because Fiorentina Perez, he already came out and said they're done with in terms of they're not going to get Mbappe this summer, right? They don't
yeah,
have the funds for that,
mm,
at least this summer. Because, like you said, realistically, that's literally his only destination that makes sense that can actually afford him and where he might actually fit in. Because other than that, bro, he it's nowhere else. Man City, like I said,
mm,
they could be greedy. They could be greedy and go in for him,
mm,
just cause. But I don't see them doing that. And United are such a shit show that maybe 2-3 years ago I could see them potentially trying to put something together to come get him.
mm,
But they're such a shit show, and with their whole ownership situation and the way their manager wants to play, I guess. So it doesn't make
mm,
sense anymore. So
yeah. No, listen, I agree, man. I agree. But moving on to another bit of news, though, yeah. And this one got me excited when I first heard about it. Now, Mohamed Kudus from Ajax been linked to the club. Looks like some outgoings will need to happen before we could really like get him. But listen, with the relationship that we have with Ajax at the moment, how we dealt with the urine. I know it's not durian. A lot of people are telling me, no, it's not durian, it's urine. But the way we dealt with the transfer for Urian Timber, and then now we're coming in to try and get Mohamed Kudus. Listen, I feel good about this, man. I'm so excited because listen, I've rated him for a minute now, like for what he's been doing for Ajax, like and what he's been doing for Ghana. Because
yeah,
obviously internationally, he also puts on a show, man. He also does bits when he's playing internationally. So um, for me, I think it's a great bit of business, and yeah, I think this fee is only like 40 million or something like that to bring him in. Which listen, for a player of his quality and for a player of his ceiling, how high his ceiling is. Like, I'll be honest, it's a no brainer to be honest in my head.
yeah. It
What would
makes
you think?
yeah, it does make sense. He's a very good player. Instantly, you think of the goal he scored at Anfield in the Champions
Mm,
League,
mm,
the way he performed in the World Cup with Ghana.
mm,
Um, so he is a very exciting young player, bro, and it is good to hear that we're linked with him. Although I feel like maybe, and this is just my opinion, I've been of the idea that maybe because I know Arteta he likes to mold players into his own version of certain things. So maybe he has a vision for him. But I personally think that maybe we should spend money on a striker, just a different type of striker.
yeah.
And but maybe he has an idea for Kudus, where he might play that role that Havertz is playing in the left eight, or he can play in the false nine up top. He might have a vision for him. I don't know. I'm not the
Yeah.
manager, but in terms of us just being linked with the player, it's a good price. Like you said, we have a very good relationship with Ajax. We have had a very good relationship with them for years. You know, it's just about making sure that we maintain that relationship. and that we keep things, as cordial as possible because he's a very good player. There's no doubting about that. He's very good, right? So it's and like you said, for 40 million, that's
Yeah,
for somebody that, like you said, of his potential, that's a steal if you
yeah.
think about it. So
But also, what I wanted to think as well is like where he'd play because obviously, given last season, from obviously this is me just doing a bit of research on the internet, seeing where he's played and the stats. I'll just give you his stats from last season and where he played.
uh,
So they said that he played last season in the right wing, um, in the it was kind of left midfield, but it was more of an attacking role. He didn't have really any defensive responsibilities or anything like that. So it was more just of an attacking role, that left midfield kind of left attacking mid kind of thing, um, and then centre forward. So he's played those three positions. And then in all competitions last year, he played 42 games. Sorry, and he scored 18 goals and had 7 assists. Now, I'll be honest with you. Listen, him having that output, um, obviously I know it's Eredivisie, but listen, he scored 4 goals in the Champions League and had 2 assists. That also plays a part. But what I'm looking at is, listen, he's such a versatile player, and that seems to be like a recurrent theme in within our club and our squad. Because listen, every single player that we're going for is versatile, can play different positions. You know what I mean? We had Trossard, we have even now Saka, Martinelli can play different positions. We have Timber, different positions. Saliba even Kivio can play so many different positions. These are other players. Ben White can play different positions. So these are all players that I'm just saying. Even Kai Havertz, he was brought in under the impression that he can play different positions. He can play in the midfield. He can play as a striker, play off the left, off the right. So versatility is important to Mikel Arteta. You know what I mean? So I feel like him coming into the squad, it gives us. Well, I wanted to get your thought where you think he's gonna play. To be honest, first before obviously I give mine.
I honestly think if he comes in, he plays in a left eight, and maybe we see Havertz be that rotational piece where
Yeah,
shout out Jeffrey, bro, but where he plays because I'm seeing it now where he plays like where he'll maybe come off the bench, be that kind because he's tall. He'll kind of be that target man, but a bit more, less physical of one, but a target man nonetheless, who plays up top. And Kudus plays in that left eight role, or like I said, he plays up top, but in the false nine position. So it's a lot. What I like about this transfer is it really we already have a lot of where we're a big threat on the transition now because we can now artificially make things happen out of absolutely nothing now.
yeah,
Like we have that, but I think adding him in there really throws a big air of unpredictability when it comes to our play because you really won't have any clue as to what you're supposed to be doing. Right? You plan the whole week to keep Havertz quiet or keep one of Martinelli or Jesus quiet, and then Kudus starts the game as a false nine, and then it kind of throws your whole game plan off. And then I don't know, you'll see something crazy like I don't know Jesus on left wing or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? So it's just it'll really open up the versatility we have.
yeah, 100%, bro. But yeah, listen, I'll be completely honest, man. Like for me, Kudus, I think he can play in multiple different positions. Like you said, obviously the left eight, but um, as a right winger. But
Yeah,
I don't feel like he's gonna be a rotational player just because of his experience within the Champions League. Like he's played there before. Like
yeah,
he's one of the players that has played in the Champions League before, so he knows what he's doing when he's going into the Champions League. Let's face it, we haven't been in there for a while, so obviously we have to look at it now. We're trying to have players that have been in the Champions League and have played in the Champions League and know what it's about, know the opponents that we're coming up against. You know what I mean? And we want them to be of a certain quality as well. That's an important thing as well. But with Kudus, I feel like he brings that quality as well as helps us out when it comes to the experience. He's very experienced in the Champions League, um, given that he's played in it for Ajax. And listen, he's even done well in that Ghana team to help them out in massive tournaments such as the World Cup, the African Cup of Nations. So on both aspects of it, he's played roles in his games for his clubs and his country. So I feel like he's a very good player for 40 million, absolute steal. Yeah, I'll bite your hand off for that, to be honest.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. But anyway, listen. Firstly, guys, for the people that joined, please like the video, subscribe if you can, and share it with your friends, please, if possible. And for the people watching on playback as well, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Um, Share the video to everybody, and just like the video for me. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to Man United, man. Tomorrow at I think it's the Audi Stadium, is it? Or
I
something
know.
like that.
I thought they were in New Jersey.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the stadiums are called out there, man. Oh, no, I think it's the MetLife.
Yeah,
MetLife Stadium.
I swear they're in New Jersey.
MetLife. Yeah, yeah. They're in New Jersey. They said goodbye to DC. So they're in New Jersey. We're playing Manchester United tomorrow. So that's gonna be an interesting game. Um, what are your thoughts on the games? Obviously, just going into it. What kind of team do you think we're going to play? What
I
do you think
think
about Man
I
United?
think that team that we started against the MLS All Stars. I think that's the team we roll with in
Mm,
terms of starting, because I watched United versus Lyon, and they are something.
mm,
They're something. I think that what going into this game, I feel, I feel we're head and toes way above them in every aspect, technically, physically, in terms of
mm,
the squad, player for player. I think we're way ahead of them. So I think tomorrow, if I were to throw out a scoreline, I'd say maybe 3-1, 4-0, one of those.
yeah,
Because I don't think when I watch them, I just don't feel any sort of imminent threat coming from them. Seriously, like it's like
mm,
they're kind of throwing out little jabs, but they're not throwing out that big right hook or anything like that. You know.
yeah, like they
So
used to.
yeah, and so like it's like I'm just trying to sit here and piece together. They obviously it's a preseason game, so if they come out and win, I mean, kudos to them. But I think that this, because how I would like it to be, and I'm sure how many people would like it to be, is City kind of fall off this year, and it's
Mm,
kind of how it used to be, Arsenal and United,
yeah,
right? Because that's what I'm hoping for, and this will be that real big gauge of the two big boys in the Premier League actually playing each other, because they're going to put out a full strength team, and we are as well. But yeah, I think that I think we, like I said, we put out a full strength team. I think it goes Ramsdale. My bad. Ramsdale, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinni, uh, Rice, Odegaard,
mm,
Havertz,
yeah,
Saka, Martinelli, Jesus.
yeah.
So, and I think that's we go with that. And like I said, if I put a score line on it, what I'm really leaning towards is more of a 4-0.
What to us? Yeah,
Yeah, it's 4-0 to us. Yeah.
cool, cool, cool. Yeah, listen. From what I'm hearing, obviously their team isn't fully back. Um, obviously, I'm going to just say that now. So obviously their team, from what I'm hearing from Man United fans, their team's not fully back. They had a lot of players that were on international duty that hadn't joined back with the squad yet. Obviously, they have now and have been training and are preparing for this game. So we might see a different team to the one that played against Lyon. But listen, obviously, Van der Beek got their goal. Anthony missed a few shots, but other than that, like he was okay in the game. Other than obviously missing a load of shots, but for me, I'm looking at it like this. I'm seeing I'm seeing how we're moving in the preseason against the MLS team. Obviously, I know it's just the MLS team. Like it's MLS All Stars. It's not really like they're not a high caliber. Like with all due respect, in it, they're not a high caliber opponent. Like that's gonna go crazy in the challenge. Some of their players were good, but um, yeah, obviously it's not a real challenge. I feel like Man United is going to be the first challenge
Yeah.
in the preseason, and they're also going to come with it's gonna be it's gonna be one where the game doesn't matter, but it matters at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so it's sorry, one second. I don't know if you could hear my fan. I think it was going crazy. But yeah, it's gonna be a game that matters, but then doesn't matter at the same time. So if I feel like people are gonna be like, oh, if we lose, is where like obviously if Man United lose and then we win, their fans will probably be like, oh, it doesn't matter anyway, it's just pre-season. But then part of them will still be like, oh, but I wish we won it just to get
Yeah.
one over on Arsenal, innit? And vice versa. So yeah, I feel like we need to make sure. Yes, Meskin, man, what's going on, man? Look at Meskin right there, man. But yeah, I just feel like um, going into this game, we have to we have to look at Man United as a serious, like we just have to look at them as um, you know, if we lose, obviously look at the mistakes that we made and that, innit? So yeah, Meskin, listen, if you want to get on, bro, I'll send you the link right now, my friend. You can jump on if you want, man. But um, yeah, listen, I feel like going into this game, I feel like we're on a stronger. Given that we've had our players back, they played games, played together, so I feel like we could do something against Man United. But listen, right now, preseason for me is just about experimentation, experimenting with different players, trying players in different like. That's why we've seen Kivior playing. Um, that's why we played Kivior in that kind of the inverted
Yeah. That
fullback
further
kind
wrong.
of thing. So obviously he starts on the left back and he moves forward and we move into like a back three. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you have to look at it like that. This is where we have to. This is where Mikel Arteta is going to really experiment, try different things, see what he can do, see what he likes, see what he doesn't like, see what works, what doesn't. But yeah, I'll be completely honest, man. I feel like Man United are gonna put up a threat. They're gonna have their full team back, but I genuinely feel like we can win it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. Um, Looking forward to seeing what they have in store for us. And yeah, hopefully we can win it and get a good result in. But I'll be honest, it all depends. It all depends on whether we go in. Obviously, like Meskin said here, the first 60 minutes of this match to be our starting 11, and the last 30 make subs. That would be a good idea because if you look at it, we have to look at the first 60 minutes going in with our strong side, seeing what our strong side can do, our strongest possible 11, see what they can do. Hopefully, United can replicate that and put out their strongest 11. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm really hoping that we can see what happens if they do that.
Yeah.
because bringing on our strongest 11 versus their strongest 11, seeing truly what they can do against each other. It'll be like a Premier League game, but obviously there'll be more players coming on, like the players that are fringe players and all of that, like bench players, players that are being tested in new positions. But yeah, um, I feel like we can do something, man. I feel like we can do something definitely against the Man United tomorrow.
Yeah. And even if we say we were to lose tomorrow, I
Mm,
think that going into the season, for once, right? Because obviously, like I said, I started supporting Arsenal post Invincibles
yeah,
when Desk was captain. That's when I really started supporting Arsenal, and
yeah,
the fact that I see the club for the first time in my lifetime that I've
mm,
seen move this way in the transfer window, do what we're doing, building an actual competent squad, right? Not just settling, going, let's go get Declan Rice and that's it. Let's go
yeah,
get Yuri and Timber and that's it. Let's go get Kudus and that's it. Let's go get Havertz and that's it. Right?
mm,
We're continuously improving, right, to the point where any one of these players that could potentially start for another top four side, right? Because some of these players they could go into your traditional top four sides, maybe not exactly cities because of what they are, but they could. Some of these players could walk into United, they could walk into Tottenham, they can
yeah.
walk into Chelsea, right? They can walk into these clubs, um, and to see that they're going to be holding bench for us, I can't complain. Seriously,
Exactly. It's the thing. The way I look at it, when you have a squad of players and then your bench is also very strong.
yep,
It's a good problem to have
yep,
when you have too many high quality players. Like
yeah,
it's a good problem to have. That's what City have had for the good few years that they've been up right now at the top.
yep,
So they've been at the top now for almost six years consecutively. So um, obviously challenged once by challenged once by um, Liverpool, but you have to understand as well. Um, yeah, listen. They've had a squad to back them up as well. You have to understand that they also had that problem, which was um, having multiple players. So they have players they have their starting 11, then they have one or two players in each position that they can change out, switch, and then the drop off in quality isn't as drastic as it would be for other teams if they tried to do that.
yep.
Like us 3 years ago, if I wanted to, if I wanted to substitute, say for instance, if I wanted to, let's just say this team that we have now um, is 2 or 3 years ago when we had the bench that we had. If I want to substitute, or actually no, let's take it last season. If I wanted to substitute Thomas Partey, who am I bringing on? Sambi Lakonga. Do you know what I mean? If I
Yeah,
want to take out Saliba and give him a rest, who am I
Rob
bringing on? Rob Holding. Like, come on. And even then, like, we lacked the depth in the squad. So I feel like we're working on getting the depth sorted.
yeah,
But if we get rid of Thomas Partey, which is another topic that I want to come to as well. But if we get rid of Thomas Partey, that's a problem I feel like we're having. We're just if we bring in another midfielder and we get rid of Thomas Partey, it's basically like we're in the same spot
yeah,
because we already got rid of Granit Xhaka. So us getting rid of Thomas Partey is basically putting us in the same spot.
yep.
But yeah, let me. I want to move on to that because obviously the way I just literally transitioned to it, but I do want to move on to that, bro.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Thomas Partey? Would you want to keep him or would you get rid?
I like I said, I rate Thomas Partey. I think he's a very good player, very very good player.
Hmm.
My problem with him has been the him missing these big games, not necessarily his performances, but him literally not being on the pitch.
Yeah,
These games, because I think how many games has he played against Man City?
think one.
One. That's it.
And I
Uh,
think it's that game last season, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, the Etihad.
Yeah, and then how many games has he played against United? The one that we won at, wasn't it the only
Yeah.
one we played is the one we won at Old Trafford. That's it.
Mm.
So it's one of those where I, as much as I love how he is as a player, your best ability is your availability. Like
Yeah.
there's a reason that people say that. There's a reason like I am happy we brought in somebody like Declan Rice, who has literally only missed one game,
Yeah.
his entire career, one game. That's it.
Does not get injured. Love it.
He does not get injured, and so it's one of those where it's good to know that he's available. But my fear is that he becomes that backup that's never available. For instance, Tomiyasu has become that backup that's never available. So we have to rely on the third string instead of him because he's not available.
Exactly.
If we get rid of Thomas Partey, like I said, as much as his technical ability is outrageous and as good as he is,
Yeah.
if he can't stay fit and be on the pitch, I see no reason in keeping him. I say we reinvest that money in maybe another midfielder, right? To bring us back to the point where we are, but maybe get another midfielder who will be consistently available, right? Like I understand the numbers thing, but Arteta has purposely trimmed down the squad to a certain number. I can see him maintaining that number, but you also don't want to have too many players in there that just can never be on the pitch because they're always injured. That's one thing that this club has had an issue with for years is we have one too many players on the books who are very good technically, but they're never on the pitch to display how good they are.
Yeah.
So like I said, I would like to keep him, but it's just concerning when you see him take pictures at home back in Ghana, all that jazz, and you see an Arsenal physio there with him. Like why do you need to be present with him at all times? It's like he has a personal bodyguard. So like I said, as much as I want to keep him, I say if we can get a decent bid for him, like one of those Saudi bids, I say we run with it and we go reinvest it somewhere else. That can just go get another player who can be that consistent backup that we need, but of Champions League quality because that's what we need. So
Yeah, I completely agree. Yo, Mel, how's it going, man? Big up, Mel. Big up, Mel.
yeah, big up, man.
But yeah, listen, like I completely agree, bro. I'll keep it real. Like, if we're looking at Thomas Partey missing these games, yeah, he's missed a lot of games, and yes, he did drop off in the end of the season, but I'm kind of on the side of if we got rid of him, need to bring in an adequate replacement. I'm talking a Schumanni or a Caicedo, somebody of that quality.
Yeah,
has to come in. But you also have to look at it from like, can we then get in two midfielders if Thomas Partey leaves? Because we can't just bring in one midfielder. That's just going to leave us in the same spot we were last season, where we have two midfielders that are high quality, and we have Jorginho and still Sambi Lokonga. You know what I mean? So it's now we have Kai Havertz, who technically can play a midfielder. He's been put as a midfielder on our website, so it looks like they want to go that route. But I feel like we need to be getting at least two more midfielders if
yeah,
Thomas Partey leaves.
yeah. If he leaves, two more minimum.
If he stays, one more midfielder, maybe like a Lavia that can just sit on the bench and then come on in games and learn from the midfielders that are there.
Yeah, I'd like
So
think that's important that we also continue what we've been doing in terms of bringing in youth players, like making sure that we continue have that steady rotation of high quality, experienced players, but also you bring in high quality, high potential younger players, right? And you just let them learn from these high quality players. And so by the time that whenever they leave, they're right there, they're ready. When we say, I don't know, say we go away to the Allianz next season, right?
yeah,
And we bring Partey off, rest him for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. I want to be able to look at that bench, or bring on, shit. I mean, we presuming Declan Rice starts, you bring on Thomas Partey, but assuming that he's not available, we bring on somebody like a Lafia or a Caicedo
Yeah,
or somebody of that, of that level, somebody who's very good, and but they're and so that the what they'll learn is defense. So it's just very for once it's very exciting to be an Arsenal fan. Like we're actually doing the things we need to do, addressing the issues we need to address.
yeah.
And
No, I can listen. I completely agree, and I wanted to because I'm glad you said that about the young player thing because um, just gonna stay obviously moving on to a transfer story which came out, which was a Grum Batello I think is how you say his name, young midfielder, plays for Grameo. So looks like that's another young Brazilian that we're bringing in. Um, Edu trying to get in this young Brazilian. Now, listen, when you think of a young Brazilian, I think he's 18, 19 years old. When you think of that, the first thing that pops into your head is Gabriel Martinelli. So I'm I'm gassed. I'm ready. I'm excited because of what's happened with Gabriel Martinelli. I'm excited to see what happens with bringing in a or this young Brazilian um, and bringing him into the club, seeing what he can do in the near future. But yeah, I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to I can't wait to see what he does in the possible future. Because listen, Martinelli at one point was just a young kid, came in inexperienced, just had some. You could see some natural ability, but also it was he was really raw when he first came to the Premier League. So obviously he had to be trained, he had to be nurtured for a bit before he could really come in and start consistently starting games. But from what he was to what he is now, like listen, Martinelli from when he started to what he is now, it's night and day. You know, he's bigger, stronger, more faster, more skillful, um, better at finishing now. He's more more better at finishing. So
yeah,
yeah, I just obviously want to get your thoughts as well, man, on what you think about this transfer, man.
like I said, I enjoy obviously seeing us in particular going down into the lower divisions of Brazil. Right, not I know he's in the first division, but going into Brazil to get these players
Yeah,
because I feel sometimes that in South America people obviously primarily focus on the Brazils and Argentinas and maybe the Colombias, but South America is such a raw place to grab to young talent from. It's such a raw place. Like you can mold
mm,
the players into virtually anything. Like Martinelli, you know, he came in. He was kind of unknown. I know we know he had trials at Man United and all that, but he was playing in the fourth division. We found him on an iPhone. So it's like it's one of those where he is an exciting young player,
mm,
but at the same time he's still so young he can mold into quite literally anything Arteta wants him to mold into.
yeah,
And I think that that's the most important thing that that we do keep consistent with that because, like I said, he's a very good player, a very good young promising player. And it's also good, like I said, that Edu is tapping into the Brazilian market and keeping the relationships open with those clubs because every now and then, one of those clubs produce an absolute gem. One of them,
yeah,
whether it
exactly.
be Palmeiras, Grêmio, São Paulo, one of those, whether it be one of those clubs, somebody produces one gem, and it's
Yeah,
important that when they do produce it, you're right there to get them
yeah,
before they go off to fucking Madrid and have a release clause of 2 billion.
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, like I said, it's a decent transfer. I can see it kind of going down the Marquinhos route,
Mm,
where maybe he stays out on loan. Instead of getting an opportunity this season, he stays out on loan or joins the under-21s for a bit, that sort of thing, and just sees how he develops from there. But speaking of younger players, right?
Yeah.
What is going on with Charlie Patino, bro?
Well, that guy's gone. That guy is gone. He's gone. Like, I know that he's gone because he clearly doesn't want to be there. He wants to go play first team minutes, wants more of a chance. But listen, when you're at a club as big as Arsenal, and also when you're at big clubs like this, like Man United and Liverpool's, you know what I mean? So you have to understand that yes, okay, there's asking for game time, saying like, listen, I want my chance, give me my chance and all of that. But trying to demand stuff, like, come on, man. Like, stay in your station, man. Getting out of line for no reason. Like, you're at a big club. If they just handed you the reins, like, okay, Saka and Martinelli got handed the reins, but at that point we were at a different stage where we were
in absolute dumps where it made sense.
we were struggling. You know what I mean? Like Bellerin and Cedric were my right backs. Let's keep it real. Mustafi was still at the club. So with all due respect, like the levels were very different. Now you're telling me that I got William Saliba and Gabriel as my centre back pairing with Kivior and Timber to back them up, or Ben White to back them up as centre backs. And my fullbacks are amazing.
And then you're talking about the midfield, which you play specifically. You got Odegaard, Partey, Rice, Jorginho.
Yes.
You're looking at now maybe Kudus. You're looking at Havertz. You're looking at all these players that are pretty established. They all have a very high CV compared to you.
And I'm thinking, are you going to fit into that midfield? Are you going to do something that they're not going to do? No. I just don't see it. I don't see how you're going to come in and you're going to change the midfield. That if Emil Smith-Rowe can't get into this team, how are you going to get into this team? Emil Smith-Rowe has done stuff for the first team.
Yeah.
Like,
was literally highest goal scorer at one point.
Exactly. You just got to wait, join the preseason and do your thing. Keep your head down and do your thing. If you don't, then please, with all due respect,
you can leave.
Doors that way. You know what I mean? So just leave. You don't need to stay at the club. I don't understand why he has to come. I'm demanding first team football. I want first team minutes. Like, just it doesn't make sense. But listen, I personally think, if he needs to leave. If he wants to stay and actually fight for his position, then fight. We saw the same thing in the Arsenal documentary when I think it was Nuno Tavares, wasn't it, that asked him? Well, no, it was Sammy Lokonga. Sammy Lokonga asked him, Nketiah. He was like, "Oh, well, we didn't get that many minutes here," and he was like, "Bro, come on, man, just keep your head down, get to work, and make sure when you get the opportunity to get onto that pitch, you play your heart out, play to your last breath, innit? That's all the Arsenal fans really ask for, is that when you get onto that pitch, you die for the badge. You know what I mean? That's the main thing about playing football. Listen, I think moving on to the last bit of news before we end off this stream. I think the last bit of news that we need to talk about is how you think we're going to line up going into the new season, and what do you think we're going to be doing going into that new season? What do you think our team is going to look like? Obviously, with the players that we bought in.
Yeah, with the players that, excluding the rumors, the players that we strictly have right now.
Yeah,
Ramsdale are obvious number one. But one thing I will say is when it comes to us knowing that we're going to take penalties, I would very much either like to see that Ramsdale has improved massively, or let Matt Turner take be the goalkeeper when it comes to penalties, because he's that guy when it comes to penalties,
especially in the Champions League.
Yeah, like if we sometimes in these one-off tournaments, where it's just maybe 1 or 2 games, it's not 15.
Mm,
Just focus on making sure you have those players that can produce those, because that's what the Champions League is all about. Those individual moments. Somebody could just whip something out of absolutely nothing, and that's it. There goes the tie.
mm,
But I think going into the season it goes Ramsdale, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko back four doesn't change. Makes no sense to change. With obviously Yuri and Timber being offering that inverted option on the right side, with Tierney being the traditional uh, left back on the left side, and or Kivior being the inverted on the left side, and also being able to cover the right side of center back or left side of center back, as we saw towards the end of the season.
yeah,
I think Declan Rice starts as our DM.
yeah, mm,
Odegaard, obviously captain, he's going to start in that right eight role, and then Havertz in the left eight role, offering a bit more of a physical presence in the midfield that Xhaka offered, but being a bit more assertive in the final third. At least that's the hope.
yeah,
And then Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. That's our starting lineup. And I think the goals for this season is to win the league. Uh, I want to say at least make the semis or the final of the FA Cup. And I would like to see a finals run for the Karabuti Cup. I know I don't like the cup. I know
mm,
it's pointless to me, but I
yeah,
would like. We've only ever won it twice in our history. I would like us to at least see us make it to another final. The Champions League, with the teams, listen, maybe semis, maybe pushing it, but quarterfinals at a minimum. So that's my expectation.
yeah. Nah, bro, listen, I'll be real. Yeah, man, I feel like going into next season, my midfield's a bit different to yours, just on the basis where I think we're gonna go with a we're gonna go with a Odegaard with Declan Rice in that left position, obviously playing a bit more forward or playing a more forward thinking role. And then have Thomas Partey in that in that six playing as a DM. So I still feel like that can be my midfield going into this season. Obviously, my back line, Timber, Timber playing on the right as a right back, could be inverted. So obviously, the thing is with having Zinchenko and Timber playing in the same team, yeah, is as an opposition team coming up against Arsenal, you really don't know which player is gonna invert. So we could be going in for one attack, and then Zinchenko inverts into the midfield, and then all of a sudden you come back and you cover Zinchenko, then um, Urian Timber inverts into the midfield. So I feel like it gives us a lot of increased tactics when it comes to, or it gives us a bit more of a we're a bit more versatile. I'll be real, and you can just there's so many different things that you can do. You can either go and invert it on both sides. You know what I mean? When teams try to come at you, they don't, and try to defend against you, they don't know what to do. So listen, I think this summer we've done very good business so far, and hopefully we can get in another midfielder and an attacker to cover Saka for most of the season. But other than that, I think yeah. Sorry, getting back to my starting 11 for how we start. Urian Timber, Zinchenko as my left back. Obviously Saka. Obviously Saliba and Gabriel as my centre backs. And yeah, it's other than that, um, Ramsdale obviously in goal. My midfield I've already said, and attackers Saka, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus. And I feel like that gives us a real that team there going into the Champions League, going into the Premier League is very strong. it depends on how many of them stay fit and how many of them get injured. So that's the main thing that we have to worry about. But other than that, I feel like going into the new season, I feel like we can definitely see where this team can take us. Because listen, I think that beats a lot of teams. I think definitely beats Chelsea. It definitely beats Newcastle. Definitely beats some of the lower teams. Um, Now it just depends on whether we can beat Tottenham. It definitely beats. It just depends on whether we can beat the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Man Cities. So that's who I'm really looking at the moment. Trying to see who can beat. I think tomorrow will be a test, and it will show us how we play. If we play our full team, it will show us how we play against Man United, against a proper outfit. If they obviously bring on their players, but yeah, I'll be completely honest. It's looking hopeful, and it's looking positive at the moment. Um, I just feel like we're gonna do very good, and yeah, it's good. It's a good time to be an Arsenal fan right now, man. Looking forward to season starting. Like I can't wait for the season to start. As for previous seasons, I've sat there and I'm like, oh, the season we've got to go through it again. We're starting off. How are we gonna start off? Are we gonna lose our first game? Are we gonna win it? So it's good. It's kind of a change in how I used to start my seasons in the last 3 to 4 years, 5 years. So I'm now looking forward to this season, looking forward to what our signings are gonna bring because let's face it, we've had a very good window so far. Uh, Listen, let's make it a 10 out of 10 window if we can bring in that Saka replacement, Saka backup, and another midfielder that can be a backup for the midfielders, possibly another DM. But yeah, it all depends. It all depends on what's going to happen, and I feel like we can definitely do something this year. Um, I've just got this feeling. I feel like we're going to win a big honor this season. But listen, that's just me. I'm not gonna fully go in and say, "Oh, we're Premier League winners" or "Oh, we're gonna be Champions League winners." But I feel like we're gonna win one of those trophies. I just have this feeling. It may not happen. It may happen, but that's just a feeling that I have. But other than that, yeah, listen, I'm looking forward to the season, guys, and I can't wait. But yeah, listen, I'm gonna end the stream there anyway, on a good note of our season nearly coming in. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get into the season. And thank you very much for everybody who has tuned in. Like I said before, make sure to like the stream and like the video. For all the people watching on playback, make sure to share the video if you're on playback, and share the video to your peoples. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I make a video. Also, I think Jashmon is just away at the moment, but I'll just put our banners in so you can follow both of us. But yeah, guys, I feel like you should. Obviously, you can find Jashmon 101. That's his Twitter. You can find me on the Football Corner 97, which you are at right now, and Sard underscore E215 on Twitter. So listen, you can find both of us on Twitter. We host spaces. We do. Um, Obviously, there's daily tweets of me just chatting about Arsenal and just giving mad takes. But yeah, listen, for anybody who's tuned in, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. And yeah, I appreciate everybody who has tuned in. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe yet again. And don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I make a video. Thank you very much for coming into the stream, guys. Thank you very much for watching on the playback, and I will see you guys later. See ya.